Okay, computer. When you were here before, couldn't.
The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care.
Stop tagging me on an add everything. Add everyone. I think you're so stupid.
Hey, it was just everything Poland, and this is about Poland. It's about the schools.
Why are you tagging me? Stop using the add everyone, Isaac. It's stupid.
Welcome to the MLO Bros. Tonight we have Poland Superintendent Craig Hockenberry on the show. We're going to talk about our sponsors. First is Valley Insurance Group. That's Mayor Tim, his insurance company. So call him. 330-757-4451, home, auto, whatever you like. Our second sponsor, which we haven't talked about much lately, but they're awesome, is Botana Candle Company. I'm going to give a short little speech about them. The MLO Bros are brought to you by Botana Candle Company. Botana Candle Company is an online candle store that is changing the way people enjoy candles by offering options that are both eco-friendly and prioritize human health. Their candles are hand-poured with 100% soy wax that grows into the herb or flower of your choice. The vessel can then be reused to grow your own seeds as they are water safe.
When your candle's done, you can put it in the ground and make a plant.
Botana candles are 100% soy wax candles, which are natural, clean-burning alternative to common paraffin wax candles, which are derived from petroleum and can contain carcinogens. Botana Candles says no more to paraffin wax candles, and you should too. Ordering is as easy as visiting their website, following the 3 simple steps. Number 1, choose your vessel. Number 2, choose your fragrance. Number 3, choose your seeds. Your made-to-order candle includes a grow kit that contains your seeds, cocoa coir, and directions on how to grow a healthy plant. Your candle is then placed in their custom recyclable shipping boxes and sent to your doorstep. Visit their website at botanacandleco.com.
I'm going to buy Craig a Botana candle.
He should put one in his office right behind him on his print.
right. Like, I mean, look at how Platy's office is. He needs a Botana candle.
Right.
That's right.
Well, hey, Stock, what's going on, Soup? What's up?
Not too much, man. Thanks so much for having me on. Sorry, it's been a while. We got a little busy, but all's good, man. It's good to be back on the show.
Is spring insane at the school? That's what I figured out. Is spring is just nuts. Like there's trips, there's sports, there's band stuff. Like it's insane, right?
April and May are incredibly busy. Every single day there's an event, there's a program, there's a trip. DC, Camp Fitch, you name it, it's going on. Senior nights, banquets, parties. Sports are crazy. Our sports schedule in the spring, and then they're always getting canceled because of the weather.
Right.
And we're constantly rescheduling it, and it's insane,
Yeah,
So,
baseball and softball has had to be brutal this year, right? Because
yes,
there was a lot of rain.
it was crazy.
Right?
We need turf fields bad because they're a lot easier. Like Austintown got it.
They have turf baseball.
Yeah, Austintown does, so they don't cancel many games. So there's a couple others that have them too, but it's nice.
So what's going on? So we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We're coming up on the end of the year, which ends. Let me see. My kids had let me rephrase that. My kids and my wife have a tracking schedule. What is it? 7 days left? 6 days left?
Yeah, I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 days left. We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then
6.
I think 3. Yeah, 6 days left.
6
actually.
days.
Yeah. Yep. So
6.
yeah, it's insane. Every class has a fun day, field day, some kind of an event, and it's a great celebration, and rightfully so, which leads perfectly into my first thing. Although we still got some work to do to close out the year, Poland, we won 2 major awards, academics. We won, McKinley got the 5-star award. I know people confuse that with a 5-star building award, like the building was a 5-star condition.
That was worded weird, though. It was the article was worded weird.
It was it was worded weird, the title. But had they actually read the actual article, which is what I accuse the people of, because none of them read the actual article. They just read the title, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
So for those of us that are too lazy to read the article, what did it mean?
Poland, McKinley, grades K to 3, scored they got 5-star awards. They scored the highest in all categories of academic achievement at the state measures.
Wow.
Nice.
And Poland Middle School, grades 4, 5, and 6, scored a 5 stars as well, closing the gap, special education performance, English language arts, math, everything. Incredibly, very difficult award to get. We were one of like 300 schools out of 614 districts that got the 505-star. And then seminary was a 4.5. So they were right behind. They just didn't get the 5-star tag, but it was probably the highest honor I've ever been associated with in schools.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The blue ribbon was the old national award where you hit everything. But a 5-star was really something special. So we were really proud of that. And it was all because of the teachers, the staff there, the principals, and of course, our kids and parents are fantastic. So we're hitting on all cylinders right now.
Good.
Awesome.
Very cool.
And that made me laugh though, because there were a bunch of people who were against the levy on Facebook, like, oh, the school buildings are great now. Look at that. We don't need good. It's like, shut up.
Of course.
So let's talk a little bit. So that's an awesome award. What about coming up in the summer? School ends. The levy didn't pass. The people have spoken, like you said, a couple different times. The people spoke. So what happens with the schools? And do you have any information you can share with kids getting moved? Like, what's going on? Any ideas?
So nobody's getting moved right now. It's been very challenging time for the board. I feel bad because we're at that period of time where we have to do something, but we're going to have to be very, very strategic over the next, year before we make any major decisions. We got a lot to think about. So first things first, we have the absolute worst parking lot in the history of American public schools at the seminary.
Oh, it's terrible. I rode my bike through it today. The Hockenberry, I almost died.
Yes, and I warned everybody that the new school would have included this. So we waited as long as we could. So now it's a $1.1 million project that starts in a week and a half. So it'll be a 3 to 4 week project. Tons and tons of asphalt that we've been patching for the last couple decades will all be dug out, engineered, and resurfaced. So it'll be a brand new parking lot. That'll be the first order business. Hefty price tag, had a lot of bids on it. And Lindy Paving, the owner of Lindy Paving, I believe, lives in Poland. His company's out of Newcastle. So we were glad that we stayed pretty local with that. So that's the first big project. And again, we explained it that we had to do these big ticket items. So the next thing is grades K to 6 down in the village. We're a little tight for space. Grades K to 3, almost every single room is being used, and we've commandeered space. So there's nowhere left to go.
Right.
However, on the other side, we have a lot of unused space. We have areas that we can't use, but we do have the space.
So does that include the top secret hidden tunnel?
Yes, those type of areas.
Right.
That's unusable space that we now have to turn into usable space.
Right.
So we started with 4 rooms, 2 at McKinley and 2 in the middle school. We have to gut those, renovate those, fix them all up and get them ready so we can spread the kids out at McKinley and Poland Middle. And then every year we're going to have to do something along the lines of taking unusable space. So the other thing, like a great way to explain it is like back in the 20s, actually before that, World War I, they had chemistry islands, huge like pipes and gas things that came up out of the floors and big tables.
Yeah.
We don't use those anymore. You can't use gas in schools, and they've left they're unusable space. They're just open rooms with, that we've used as storage now. Now we got to rip all those out and rebuild them so we can lower class sizes and make more learning space for kids. The old stairwell or the lecture halls, we have a lot of those rooms that can't be used with kids with disabilities, kids that have wheelchairs and things like that. We have to make those usable space. So those 4 areas will be tackled. That's about $125,000. We got to work on that. And then each year we'll be evaluating those and looking at those next steps. So we have to resurface the gymnasium floors now, the field house.
Okay.
So it's at its end. That's a nice expense, but it'll look really nice. And we also have to redo we have 2 gyms in the high school.
Yeah.
That floor is at the end too. So these all came up at the same time. So there'll be quite a bit going on. And 2 other things just to talk about, especially the folks that might be tuned in from the north end of town. So we closed north in 2015. All right. So we've spent $527,000, and there hasn't been any kids that have entered there in 10 years. So every year we continue to add more. We have to pay the cost for it. So we are exploring fixing it up a little bit and leasing it out to MRDD, like very medically fragile kids, and some county units that special education units such as preschool, other medically fragile kids, and they would pay for everything. So that would take the burden off the taxpayers.
That's the Mahoning County Board of Developmental Disabilities, right?
Yes. Yeah. The old MRDD. Yeah. So that's where you'll see your most medically fragile kids, wheelchair. They really like it because it's all one floor.
Makes sense.
And it's very, very good space. We're trying to hold on to it in case we ever need it again.
Right.
We don't need it right now, but we don't want to tear it down. Costs over $1 million or approximately $1 million to tear it down. We've already spent quite a bit. So, hey, how can we get the best of both worlds here? Let's lease it out. We can even commandeer some space there too, have meetings, things like that, use the gymnasium, use the grounds and everything, but yet have somebody else pay for it. So we're in talks with them over the next couple of weeks. So we're excited. We're getting very, very, very close.
That's good, and you're helping out. Obviously, kids with needs and
Yes.
they need a building. That's fantastic, and
Yep.
it's a good matchup too. So that's
Yep. And what's good about it too is at any time we can stop the lease. We just have to give them 90 days notice. So if something happens and we need to, open a building, we have one of the best buildings in the valley. It is absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever been in there.
Yep.
It is absolutely fantastic and great natural lighting, great grounds, 14 acres around there. It's just a great setting, great neighborhood. So we want to hold on to that. So that's going to be probably some big news in the coming weeks.
Cool. What speaking about like growing classes and the need for buildings, what do you have a count for the kindergarten class right now?
Yeah, so the kindergarten class, I'm looking at my board here. So we enrolled 123 during kindergarten roundup, and we've added 12 more since then. So do the quick math there. I'm looking at
135 right now, right?
And we still have 3 full months. So we'll see what happens.
You think you'll get up to 150?
I don't think so. Not this year, but I'm going to tell you right now, my treasurer rarely makes predictions.
Okay.
She's saying next year is going to be our heavy class.
Janet's saying next year is going to be heavy.
Yeah.
Where's she hearing that at?
Well, we got 225 kids and only 123 of them enrolled, right? Okay. The balance of the 225 were 4-year-olds because they were in preschool, so they didn't make the 5. So she's saying that the live birth rate plus those missing 100 kids are going to make your
that'll be
your
5
COVID
years,
kids.
and that'll be 5 years from COVID, Isaac, because everybody was getting busy during COVID.
The COVID babies are coming, and you have I just think we called this. We saw this in 2021.
Like Allie just said it. Allie just said in 2 years it'll be pandemic babies. That's it.
100%.
Yeah,
that's it. Trapped at home, not much to do.
That's right.
Wow. So that's interesting too. So that, and then once, and that's not the fear. I mean, it's a good thing to have more kids come to school, but that's always been the concern is you get rid of like North, you sell North, you tear North down. And then all of a sudden, wham, we get a class at 225. I mean, you're going to be scrambling, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure. I don't like to predict, but like I said, the treasurer thinks that they're coming, and it makes sense because the kids that didn't show up were not 5 years old. They didn't meet the deadline, so they'll do another year of preschool, which is not uncommon.
Right.
And then I think that's when it's going to hit. So,
wow.
And then we'll have to keep watching that as we go through, and we have some small classes too, still in the mix. So it'll all balance out, but it does make it a little complicated for planning. So the last item for projects, just in case, the viewers notice anything, is, Union is our other school that we're not using right now, Union and North. So we want to make sure that we have to take care of these buildings. So older buildings deteriorate pretty quickly. So we got to keep up on the maintenance. So we're going to have to do a massive painting and cleaning project to keep up on Union, or it'll fall into disarray pretty quickly. And we got to keep up on the maintenance there. So those are some of the major projects that are going on. And we just got to kind of wait and see where the enrollment and keep talking about a long-term strategy for the facilities. But right now, nobody's moving for this upcoming year. Yeah, everything's staying the same. This will be 4 years in a row. So we're holding the line pretty good.
Record right now for Ohio.
Yeah. So
Allie here's Allie. Allie has a good question. It is not a question. I guess it's a statement. Yeah, there is a question. It is my understanding that there is money in the budget to hire up to 4 more teachers at 7th and 8th grade levels, but there isn't enough classroom space available to move forward with that. Is there a plan to expand onto the high school to accommodate these grade levels to be able to reduce those class sizes as well?
Yeah. Okay. So great question. Allie's been very involved in the several of the meetings in the budget. So we did indeed. We added 1 teacher at every grade level, grades K to 6, in three years. So we successfully reduced class sizes grades K to 6. Now, when you go to 7th and 8th grade, it's a little bit different. So I just want you to think about this. When we reduced class sizes at kindergarten, we just add a kindergarten teacher and all the teachers just divide up the kids equally, right? When you get to 7th and 8th grade,
they start switching.
They switch classes 6 times a day. You need 4 to do that. We only put in the budget for 2 because we didn't have any additional classrooms to spare.
Wow.
Without some commandeering several spaces and stuff. So we paused on that for right now. So our 7th and 8th graders take up about 19,000 square feet, which is a very small section, because we don't want 12 and 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds with 18 and 19-year-old kids on the other side of the school. So we have to get very creative with our space right now, and we have not been able to add those 4 classes, which would reduce class sizes, but we don't have 4 classes without putting them far apart or spread out with other kids. So the only option then is to build on. So to build 4 more classes on was approximately $5 million, right? To bring the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade there and add an entire school attached to it was $25 million.
Whew.
So we're kind of stuck right now.
What about Union or North or something like that?
Well, Union could be an issue or North could be an issue. The board, rightfully so, is very apprehensive about opening another building, and I'll tell you why. When you open another building, it adds a lot of legacy costs. We're going to vet that for them, but right now that's a big decision.
Okay.
And the finances are doing amazing right now. Janet's done an amazing job. We're in line. Audits are clean. We're winning awards on that. We're out of debt in 2026. We can choose to be out of debt if the board decides to make the last payment from the connector and things. So accumulating more debt is something the board's going to take very seriously, and that's where most of our time has been spent. So we have to make a decision: are we going to add rooms and spend the money at the middle or at the high school, at the seminary, or are we going to add 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, which we took off pretty much off the discussion block because it was way too expensive. It was $25 million. Or does the board want to entertain opening another building and putting the 7th and 8th grade there or whatever? So that's kind of where we are.
When you open up a new school, though, I think a lot of people think, I'm just going to open up a new school. They're just open the doors, let the kids in, and nobody understands the amount. I don't think you think about the cost into that, right?
The logistics of the buses. So you got buses,
lunches,
food,
administrators,
janitors.
Right.
So there's 310 7th and 8th graders and about 12 total teachers. It's actually a decent size, and we do have the space. So then it comes down to, okay, we have an extra counselor at the high school. We could use that one. We have an extra administrator. We could use that one. Make one of the assistant principals a principal position.
Right.
But you're right. There's some things like, feeding. We got to feed the kids. We need, another cook or 2. Cleaning. We have to look at that. Gas and electric, those type of things. But the good news is I think we're just going to present those numbers, do a master schedule, pretend as if we did all the way down to the paper clips and tell the board, here's what it costs. What are your thoughts? And we'll have a great discussion over it. But the good thing is that we do have the space, the budget's healthy, but I think the board is really looking for a very long-term conservative plan, so how do we do this so we don't have to do it ever again?
And I know budget board's always worried about the budget, but at the same point, I don't want my kid in a class with 40 kids or there are 35 other kids, you know what I mean? Because there's a balancing act there too, because once you get over 25 kids in a classroom, I don't know if that's the number or not. I just remember hearing that's high.
34,
Yeah, that turns into an issue then, and that's when the parents are getting ticked because there's too many kids in those classrooms. And
Correct.
The parents and the teachers too.
Yep.
So, man, that is I don't want to be part of that, Craig. That's tough there, man.
We're not far from the decision. It's like right there. The board's had some great discussions about it, and we're actually getting a little bit closer. I'm glad. So no matter what happens, we can't build next year, so everything's going to stay the same. So that's good. So we got the rest of this fall to kind of figure this out, and then announce a plan later on what's going to happen. So we'll figure this out. I tell everybody all the time, even though it's not optimal, right? It's not as bad as some other school districts I've seen, some other conditions and things like that. But we're Poland. We want to get everything right, and we want to do the right thing. So we'll get there.
Right. And obviously, your staff is doing a good job because the ratings are through the roof, like you said, right? So
crazy, yeah. It's amazing.
Well, and to be fair, I had to bring this up. Isaac, ready for this one? Hey, I hear Poland local schools is so good, people are willing to write fake letters and forge stuff to get in to be teachers at the Poland.
Oh, unbelievable! Listen,
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, no.
I'm sorry. I had to.
So for those that don't know what Luke's joking about, there was a job application, or there was a teacher opening.
Yeah, sixth grade teaching position.
Right, we won't say a name.
Grade teaching position. We won't say names, but tell the story. Craig.
Yeah, this is my 30th year in education, and the anonymous letters we've received over the years, the fake emails and all that, and it's very, very difficult to catch people that do these nasty things and write, anonymous letters. But
so he wrote a letter. A teacher applying for the job wrote a letter bashing an anonymous letter, bashing another applicant for the position that he obviously thought
email.
Yeah, anonymous email. He obviously thought was more qualified than him for the position, and then he ruins his entire career because of it. Because they found out.
Yep. So what had happened was the person interviewed for the position, and they had about 3 interviews that night. About 8:00 that evening, I received an email taking the name of a Poland guy, right, that applied as well, who was the front runner for the job. He knew he was the front runner, and he wrote really bad things saying that he did all these horrible things at his other school district. Nice. So I literally jumped out of my chair. It was like 8:00. I called the principal and the superintendent at Lakeview, where the gentleman was, and Lakeview was like, he's one of the best teachers that's ever worked for us. This is not true. They looked into it, found out it was a fake email. We turned it over to the police, and then we received a handwritten letter as well over the weekend. It went to board members. It went to some of the teachers that were on the committee, and they interrogated a guy, brought him in, and he confessed to it, and he got locked up the next day. And we have a process we have to go through. We have to turn people into their since they have a license. So so it's going to be a long road. I don't know what's next steps for that person, but not a good idea. We can find out where, if you send an email, even if it's a fake one, we can find out where it's sent. So it's best that you don't send emails on someone else's account.
For the old people, it's called an IP address.
There you go.
So,
what you can do to
an IP address.
A podcast on that.
Just like your car has a VIN number, your computer has what's called an IP address. So if you send an email from your computer, they can the smart people can track where the email is coming from, track to your computer. They tracked it to that guy's computer, and they're like, "Hey, it has the same IP address as this guy, so he sent the email." And they just
I'm gonna have the chief flip out. So tomorrow on the show, we're gonna go over how to create a fake IP address with all the people watching. We're gonna have the chief sit over and I just spit out his drink.
What you're gonna want to do is download what's called a VPN. so that scrambles the IP address, and they think it's the email coming from Iran. Once you do that, then you can do whatever you want.
Stop! Don't. Yep. Never mind. And yeah, but yeah, I like to do that. See, here's the thing too, which is amazing, and I feel bad for the guy. He obviously wanted this job really, really, really bad, but there's going to be more openings in the future. There's going to, we're growing. They're like, it's, oh boy.
That was.
The thing is, I feel bad because he was obviously desperate. I think his contract was up or something at the other school, and he's.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Like a lot of Americans are hurting for a job. And he's scared.
There's such a teacher shortage, though.
Yeah.
The person still had 3 months. Before, and then if you don't get a job, you can still substitute teach every single day for $150 a day until something comes up. So yeah, it's just not a good thing. And I didn't like to be part of it. I was glad they caught it. The police department, we turned it over within 30, 40 hours. It was, they had somebody in custody. So it was great. They give us, they're so awesome for us, man. It's incredible.
Was it the township or village?
Yeah,
or both?
We had 2 detectives on it immediately. I think the charge was obstruction of official business.
Yeah.
There was 4 schools involved: Springfield, Poland, Lakeview, and Camel, because he had a contract to coach a sport at Camel. So,
oh my God.
So it was 4. We were in touch with 4 superintendents. It wasn't fun at all.
Wow.
But glad we caught him and we moved forward. So,
hey, Isaac,
candidate. His name's Matt Baker. He was the head basketball coach at Lakeview. Great family here in Poland. Great athlete at Poland. I'm sure he'll want to coach and do things. And
I heard some of the kids were telling me I need to get him on my intramural basketball team because he's like 6'9" or something like that.
I think he's 6'9", 6'8" or 6'9". He's huge.
I got to get him on my team, Isaac. I'm gonna recruit him.
Yeah, get him on your old man team. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
On my old man team.
Great family too. I heard. I've never met his. I don't think I've ever met his family, but I've heard nothing but great things. And that's what tipped us off right away. The email did match the guy's family and his character and his integrity. It didn't. Everyone was like, "No way, this is not true about this guy." So,
yeah. Wow. Well, thank goodness you guys figured that out, because that could have been really, really bad had you not investigated. Isaac, did you hear about the new schedule? They're going to the South Range schedule of Poland.
The old post-Canfield Fair schedule.
That's
so
right.
when is that? When does that start, Craig? What's up with that
So
one?
it starts this year. We did a survey to parents last year. The schedule was already finished, but there was a lot of people that had wanted some input. So we had probably 190 people out of 300-ish that actually answered the survey. All of them had talked about a later start. It's like right when August hits, everyone's like, summer's over. So, and we were able to work it out. We worked with the union and the board loved it, absolutely loved it. And we end on June 4th, and then kids report the day after Labor Day. And I think the year after that's the same too. I think it's September 3rd. So, teachers have to come a little bit early because they need to. They have to get 180 days. So you'll be watching the kids for about 8 days before.
Oh, you freaking kidding me, Hawk?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
So the kids go back, you said, on the 3rd, which is the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yes.
The teachers go back on the 26th. And they have
something like that. I don't have that.
You got to do a full week with the boys. A full week. Full week in 2 days.
That's that's terrible. Does anybody watching would like to watch my children? Please let me know.
Yeah.
The good news is you got 3 months to schedule that. So
that's correct.
You got 3 months.
Now there's some changes that'll come with that. So we used to get the entire week of Thanksgiving off. We had to loosen that a little bit. We used to get 2 weeks at Christmas. We had to shave a few days off of there.
Wasn't Christmas like 19 days?
It was a lot this year. Yeah, it was long.
Crazy.
yeah, so we recaptured that, and that the feedback was very very adamant that we really went after that. And the other thing was there was no desire to touch spring break. I've noticed something about Poland. There's nobody in Poland on spring break. Everybody's gone.
Oh,
they
Maggie
all
and I yeah, we're gone too. We dropped the kids off at grandma and grandpa's, and we're gone. Absolutely.
Yep. So that we kept that the same. That was a cultural thing. That's pretty big. I bet there was more than 200, 300 families that were in spring break. So
Really,
here's a question for you too. So Stephanie says, so is this just because Labor Day is earlier the next 2 years, from what she's been told, or something that isn't based on that and will continue past the next 2 years? So is it going to keep going forever? Or?
Yeah, we hope to do it, but she's right. The next 2 years, it falls where it's not too late. Sometimes Labor Day falls a week into September. We got to watch that. So we might not be able to do it, but that'll be a discussion, not this year, but the end of next year. So
we went to Southridge. We were always after Labor Day, but that's because of the fair. And half of our kids were farmers, right?
Farmers.
So
Hey, well, you know what's pretty interesting? It's funny that a lot of people think it has to just do with animals.
Yeah.
Our entire band performs one of the days.
True.
So you're talking about 200 kids and teachers and staff that have to get off. Then the next day or the day before, all the cheerleaders are there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we have a lot of families that do show horses and show animals. And we have the kids' day is the day we're in school. And then there's also the we have families that like own some of the food stands.
Yeah, and, that's true.
You know, they're there for, you know, the whole week. And it's kind of there's a lot of attendance issues that week. You might as well just capture those times somewhere else.
That makes sense.
We had basically growing up in Southridge, we had the exact same schedule that you guys have this year, where you go a week or two after Memorial Day. So Memorial Day was kind of the signal that summer is coming, and then Labor Day was the end of summer. The fair was the end of summer. So it was the beginning of the end. I always loved that. Real big, long summer. And I don't know. It's just.
I mean, we used to go to the fair though for every day. We were off of school, you know. So it's a big deal. I mean, it makes.
It was the final hurrah before everybody goes back to school. You know.
Yep.
You gonna go to the fair? You gonna go to the fair and eat, Craig?
I go every year, twice. I go. All the schools go once, and I enjoy it. I like my pizza better, but
no doubt. So let's see. What else we got? So
I have a couple other things just to kind of let the viewers hear. So we did have some retirements this year, but it was very low. We had to hire 3 new teachers. One was for class size reduction. So we hired a 6th grade teacher, the gentleman we were talking about. A couple internal transfers that people that retired. So we'll have a new 1st grade teacher and a new 2nd grade teacher. Also, the board and I worked. We added another school nurse, so we had 2 nurses covering about 1,800 kids. Wow. So we added a 3rd nurse. A lot of medical conditions, a lot of things that we really have to focus on. And if one nurse is out, it becomes very, very problematic. So we were glad with that. And my dear friend, Lauren DiGiulio, who is our student service director.
Yeah.
She's resigning and she's going to Lordstown. She's from Cortland. She worked here with us for 3 years. She'll be a tremendous loss. So we posted that position. So we're taking applications now. The director of student services is an administrative job. Very big job.
What does that position do?
They manage and all of our students with disabilities. Wow. So we have about 200 kids that have IEPs and how we deliver services to them. We have kids that are outplaced throughout the valley and go to different schools. Lots and lots of special education laws and rules, and she manages it and leads the department and works with the teachers. It's a very, very big job, very complicated job too, and there's so much that goes on. So we've gotten about 14 applications so far. 170 applied for the 3 vacancies that we did have, the teaching jobs. So a lot of people still want to be in Poland. So,
Make
and
sure
we
you
had a
double
couple
check your
nurses.
resumes.
Yeah, really. Well, it's been quite the thing. So, I'd be remiss not to tell everybody to be on the lookout if you get a chance. For all the people that don't have Facebook, aren't really connected to the school, we'll be releasing our Bulldog Bulletin. It's a 16-page color document that basically highlights every single department. We'll be mailing that this summer, so we're looking forward to that. So, yep.
Luke's gone.
Luke's gone. He's probably breaking up a fight. There's probably
Yes.
probably
I saw Lucas ran behind him. His oldest ran behind. I don't know what was going on there. But what else is going on? Anything else, Supe?
Did you have to split your boys up? Were they fighting?
No,
the dog rolling around the backyard.
The dog gets kenneled at night because she barks all night. So now she's in the kennel and she's in the sign room just barking like crazy. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Okay. If it makes you feel any better, we can't hear her. So
Yeah, it was not the kids. That was earlier.
Yeah.
They're going to sleep. They're sleeping.
A couple other things. I know everybody saw this on the news. We talked about this a little bit earlier too. Is the governor has basically put a mandate out there that all schools have to strengthen their cell phone policies. All right. So luckily last year we started this process already. It got out of control. The teachers were like, it's gotten way out of control. We need to do something about it. Principal Schneider and Mr. Daly put together a very progressive plan. That was it would have been fine, but there needed to be a little bit of a balance to it. You can't go from using your phone every day to saying never again. So we kind of gave a little. The board worked with us and came up with a pretty good policy. I think it's fair. We allow the kids to have the phones on them. It's not necessarily the best practice, but it improved this year. So we're very happy. You're allowed to have it on you, but it can never be seen, heard, or anything while in the classroom or in the hallways. But at lunchtime, we give them the full 30 minutes to do whatever they want. And then at their lockers at the end of the day, they can look, and before school. We thought that was a pretty fair. And in return, the disruptions went way down. It's still not the best practice. They're saying that phone being on you sometimes gives you that anxiety and anxiousness. I got to check. Right. But it worked, and it's getting better. So we're going to keep monitoring that. So we don't have to do a lot with it, but the rest of the valley is going to have to tighten up their cell phone policies.
Now it's basically the schools are left. They're basically, the law is basically saying, hey, you have to make a policy.
Yes, you have to make it's a policy that limits their capacity to disrupt instruction.
Okay.
So, and we feel we're getting that because we're saying, listen, we're not even taking it off you. You don't have to put it in your locker. You don't have to put it in your car. If you put it on you and we see it, they have to go sit in-school suspension all day long.
Dang.
So they can't leave it. And then if they get caught a second time, they do 2 full days. Then a third time they do 3. And I ran into some of the, really, really good kids that just, early in the year, they're like, man, this is awful, Hockenberry, because they don't want to, they want to be with their friends,
Yeah.
And so. Yeah.
Isaac, did I tell you about one of Lucas's friends? This is a great story with this rule. Lucas said they were sitting in class, and they're sitting in class, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just hear da-da-da, da-da-da, and ESPN update, right? And the teacher's the teacher's like, I'm just going to ignore that, right? The teacher acted like he didn't hear it to be cool, and then 1 second later, da-da-da, da-da-da, and he had to get an in-school suspension because he got busted.
Man.
And it was like an update for the Browns. I was like, oh, man, at least it was an update for the Browns,
Yeah, really.
So my question would be, if it was me and you had a cool teacher that's like, hey, whoever that was, like, can they say, "Hey, turn it off"? And then
No, not anymore. Now that's a great question. I want you to tell you that's how we got into the spot we're in. So you and I are teachers, okay?
Yeah.
And it goes off in my room, and I say, "Hey, Danny, cut it off."
Everybody's got to be on the same page.
They go to your room, it happens, and you let it, and you nail them. Then they're like, "Well, I was just in Hockenberry's room," and that's where we got in the situation, and it really got. You know what got out of hand, which is interesting, is they were walking around with like ear pods in their ear, and if something ever happened, I would see kids, and I'd be like, "Hey, good morning, Tim," and he'd walk right by. They wouldn't even, because they couldn't
hear you. Yeah.
Something ever happened, and heaven forbid it was like an emergency. It's like they can't hear directions, they can't hear, and it's just it's not good. And
that's why, kids, you wear one and you don't wear the other. I do this on my walks all the time. I listen with one in so that if anybody ever talks to me, I can be like, "Hey, how are you?" And I don't walk by like an idiot, not address.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about sneaking cell phones into the classroom and also VPNs.
And I honestly thought it was going to be really bad, letting them give them the 30 minutes. And I was wrong. I first, the board came up with the idea, and I was very apprehensive, and it worked. It was kind of like a happy medium. Like, listen, 3 hours, 4 hours, I got to stay off it. I can check it in a half. It's like you're on a plane. You can't, you can't, I mean, you can text and things on the plane, but when the plane lands, you can turn your phone on, so.
Well, from a parent that has a kid, Lucas has a cell phone. It's locked down like freaking communist China, but he has a cell phone and he can text us. And I do get texts during the day, or during lunchtime, every time, 11 o'clock or whatever it is. "Hey, Dad, how's it going?" Or he'll send me a stupid meme or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that way, it's going good, I guess. It's good to communicate with them a little bit, I guess. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And then
it's still good in case crap ever were to hit the fan, something were to pop off. They have every single one of them can grab their phone real quick in an emergency. That's good too.
Yep, it sure is. And it was, like I said, it was a give and take, and each year hopefully it keeps getting better and better. But it worked this year. The infractions started a little high early, and then they went down because nobody wants to be in school suspension. So they just
what's funny though, Isaac, is we give them all crap about like being on their phones during the school days. How often are you two on your phones all day?
All the time,
dude. That's what I mean, right?
Apple will give you that like notification of here's your screen time for the week, and I'll just look at it and be like, "Oh, that's
insane."
So bad.
I brought Ben to get a haircut today. Okay. And my phone was on 1%. I walk in. So he was like a half hour getting a haircut and stuff. Phone dead. Right. So I didn't have a phone. I'm not kidding you. I'm sitting there trying to look at it. I'm like, crap, I don't have a phone. I was sitting there and everybody else, I'm like, it kind of opened my eyes. I look around. There's like 10 people in there. Everybody's on their phone. Right. And I'm sitting here like, what do I do for the next half hour? I'm like, this is what, Hockenberry's mind. I mean, that's how it used to be. You just sit there. Like people, it's not going to be like that anymore. It's crazy.
Yep. So it's like, hey, how do we work it out? How do we get this? But like I said, they did good. I think it leveled out some stress too, as long as they knew. So if you got like 3 bells and then you get lunch and you got 2 bells after that, you're done. So it worked out really, really well. So,
well, that's good. You guys were ahead of the curve there too, so that'll help you guys out a little bit. And I'll bet some of the schools look for you guys, look for Poland on how to set up their cell phone polls.
Yeah, I spoke to several of the superintendents and they're working it right now. So,
do you have the superintendent?
I don't like the governor getting in our business, but
I
don't like that. But it was good. It was a great compromise. I saw Jennifer just said that too. It was a great compromise. And they're good. They were good kids too. So it didn't have to go. And Mr. Principal Schneider did a great job too, managing it.
Awesome.
Him and them came up with a really good progressive discipline too. And it worked out for everybody.
Good.
But,
Good. What else you got?
A couple quick little things. And then I had to give a shout out to sports this year. We talked about our all the accomplishments in the classroom, and I don't know if you guys know this, but we have 528 kids that are involved in sports at Poland. There's
528 kids.
528 kids that are playing sports out of 824. The other ones are doing fine arts and other things. So everybody's involved in something at Poland.
Right.
And I can't imagine that there's a better AD anywhere in the region than Banfield. He won. Then he'll give all the credit to the department, but they won the highest award. It's the Bruce Brown Award, the highest award that you can win in Ohio athletics for the entire department. So what a credit. 9 conference championships this year. They won
9.
Wow. Like you talk
That's
swimming, you're talking tennis, girls and boys, you're talking golf.
Yeah.
And although we didn't win the conference in football, we went 10-2.
We had a good run. Yeah, it was a good run. Yep.
We lost 2 games all year. And the future looks bright. I think Banfield, I don't know the exact number. I thought he said 79 7th and 8th graders are signed up for junior high football. That's gigantic.
Wow.
We had to move money because he has to buy more helmets and stuff. So, the football team's reloading. The girls' sports were at an elite level this year, and we moved down to Division 5. A lot of teams did across the entire region.
Did football move? Football moved down to 5, right?
Football moved to 5, which clears a huge pathway because no more Cleveland, Glenview, Perry, Akron, St. Vincent.
Who they're going to have to deal with, though, now, right?
South Range. All we got to do is beat South Range. And we go. Yeah.
They've already played them, and I don't think Poland's beat South Range yet.
No.
In the 2 years they played them. 3 years they played them. South Range is the one game I remember. It was right at the very end. They threw like a fake handoff pass. Like it's been really good games. But my goodness,
they're they run that wing T. It's just, it's like they run it, and it doesn't matter. They can have 120-pound tackle.
Yep.
And they run it to perfection, man. We ran that in high school, but won a great award there. It was just an awesome year. And he also, our athletic department won, the United Way chose us as one of their, won a big award there at their annual dinner because we run that classic, the holiday classic every year. And every penny that we collect there goes to the United Way.
Awesome.
And Bob Hannon, of course, is a Poland guy. So just amazing, and real proud of Mr. Banfield and all the coaches for what they're doing. I mean, we're at a very elite level there. So it's been pretty exciting. And then lastly, talked a little bit about academics, academic or the facilities, athletics. And then if you guys get a chance, we're really trying to spread this. The most complicated thing that we do is school finance. School finance is, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have to stop everything I'm doing, and I have to concentrate every time our treasurer or any treasurers talk because it's very complicated the way our taxes come in. Janet and Nico put on the website a whole new financial page. Basically, it has every term you ever want to know about school finance. It's on there. So any information. And just yesterday, we found out we won the Auditors Award. So all the people that accused us of, mismanaging money and doing all this stuff during the election, all the no votes, and always had issues, we get audited, multiple times a year, and we won the highest award you could get. Yesterday, it just got announced. So kudos to the finance department and everybody. So it's been incredible. And we have these levies don't go away, though. And I know this is tough for a lot of people to understand, and we're not going to get into it because we would need 2 hours, and you would need Janet in here. But in March, we have a renewal coming up. These renewals, they're on a schedule. Many of them have been in place since the early 80s and mid 80s, and they generate the money that operates Poland schools. All right. Not every school's different. So Canfield doesn't have these, right? We run levies and we honor levies that were passed in the 80s, and we keep renewing them. So in March, we'll have another one coming up, and it'll just be a renewal. It was close last time, We understood that, and we appreciated everybody, but it's a different group that comes out in March versus November. So we'll get the word out that, to make sure everybody's informed on what that is. But that'll be very important for the school district. If we don't pass them, Poland looks completely different. It wipes out money that we need to operate the schools. And
I would love at some point. I know Janet's always said, I'm not coming on your show because she's shot, she doesn't want to get. I would love to have her on and not grill her about the actual budget and all that stuff. But like, people have questions about like, so my property value went up. How much more money does the school get from that? Like there's so many like that. Those are the questions that I think a lot of people want to know. And I don't know the answer to, because like you said, man, I'm a finance guy and I don't understand. It's freaking impossible to understand that stuff.
Well, and then everybody tries to compare it to another district. Every district has a different financial DNA.
Right.
It's just the way it is. And you can't compare it to anybody. So in 1984, the taxpayers passed a levy, an operating levy that is to be renewed every 4 years. That's one of them. We get $1.1 million for that for 5 years, 5 years. That's part of that's how we operate the schools. And you can combine those and make them permanent. But a lot of schools, if you fail, you lose them all then.
Right.
So we got to be very careful here. But if the public can hear one thing, the audit alone takes a look at every single thing that we do.
Yeah.
And we are on top of everything. We got a healthy forecast. And in the life of this forecast, there's no new money needed right now. And so we're in a good place. And it's all the credit goes to Janet, and our board's tough, man. They're very conservative. And they ask a lot of questions about it too, and that's good for everybody. So,
which is good. So, all right, Soup. Well, anything else? Last, you got a bunch of, so we got to have you on more often. My goodness.
I know. I appreciate getting it out. Yeah, we missed several months, so I was behind.
Oh, you were busy. Like I said, man, I was trying to get you on, and you were like running over here, going over here. The next thing I know, you're like traveling to like Europe or wherever else you're going.
Hey, I'm going to Peru in 2 weeks.
Maggie told me the other day. Maggie told me that you walked, what was it, 13 miles the other day?
33,000 steps.
Trying to get ready for Peru.
Yeah. I just need to bring the diet now.
You gotta stop eating pizza.
I know.
Soup, what pizza? That was my question. Was what pizza have you been loving lately? What have you?
Oh man, I like the Elton a lot,
dude. Isn't it good? We had it last week, Isaac. It's amazing.
I tried Elton. I've gone out of my way to try Elton. I just got what kind of slice do you get there? Do you get they have a deeper dish and they have the normal?
Yeah, they have a deep dish. Yeah, they have a deep dish. There's a guy in Cincinnati, and
go away, Jeremy. Go do something. Did you have fireworks to sell or something?
Yeah, tell him I went to Mangino's. I saw his picture in there, and I went to Turco's. Saw his picture.
What do you think of Turco's?
It's good. Yeah.
Dude, Isaac hasn't had it yet.
I gotta try Turco's. But you just like the Elton. You like the
I like Avalon.
Avalon.
Once I found out everything was okay downtown, my next question was, how's Avalon? Because it's very, very close. But
is Avalon okay?
Yeah, I tried to go down, but they had the roads all blocked off. I was like, just check and see if
Avalon's my favorite, man. I love that sweet.
Canzanetti at the bistro messaged and said, put a thing out there that they're closed. All those places are closed tomorrow because of like the FBI is coming in. All these people are coming in.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure. I hope. My question would be: so, questions you got to ask. Is it something with the building, or bigger question would be: is it something with them digging up the streets?
That's right where the construction was. They said they're going to try and figure it out. But part of the Chase building was being renovated today too, is what they were saying.
So who's gonna get the blame? Guarantee the city of Youngstown will take zero blame for anything
100%.
ever. But
I don't know. I feel bad. That'll all come through, but I feel terrible, man. Did you see the video we posted?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, that was national news. My wife called me and said, "Hey, yeah, how close are you to that? And I was like, it's 5 miles,
Yeah.
So
Well, you're parking
While
there,
we
walking,
were-
trying to get pizza.
yeah, I know. I always go in the back now. You can't go in the front.
Yeah.
Jeez, they got it all dug up. But
I had
Wow.
two while we were doing the podcast, 2 national news notifications,
Yep.
and then 1 Reddit national notification.
They
came
were,
through on my
they
phone
were, did you
saying-
see them messaging us, Isaac, trying to get info?
Yeah, it's
They,
wild.
they messaged us. I'm like, yeah,
Wild.
crazy.
Well,
Well,
I
Hawk,
just
I'll tell you what.
yeah.
Good luck over the summer.
Yeah.
Can we have you back like August, right before you get going?
well, we
Fired
can
up?
do. Let's do June. I'll do. We'll do one in June,
Yeah.
one in July, and one in August. We'll and then keep following me on Superintendent. I'll be posting all the updates of the construction and things like that. And
Okay. Good.
lot
And then-
of stuff going on, man. Thanks for everything.
Always.
And to all the listeners, man, I appreciate everything that goes on in Poland. We're getting it right, guys.
Absolutely.
We're getting it right one day at a time. Good job.
Absolutely. Well, Hawk, you have a good one. Good luck on the end of the year.
All right.
I do expect I want to bring up to the board. I'm not allowed to go talk to the board. People who are married to teachers, I'd really like some sort of money or compensation for me having to watch my kids those 8 days while
Yes,
my wife is
I'm going to bring that up.
If you can bring that up for me, you tell freaking Dinopolis I want paid.
I will. Hey, by the way, I always pay my debts.
Pizza.
I owe you guys a pizza. All right.
How about in June we go live from the studio and we'll eat pizza while we do it, Isaac?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, we're looking at or whatever.
Yeah. I'll bring something fun in. It'll be my treat.
Your treat.
Yeah.
You surprise anything you want. Do you?
Yeah, we're not picky on toppings, so you go crazy. Whatever
Look at
you
us. I've been
Enjoy it while you can because Burrow is healthy. The line looks great.
Oh, get
Draft
out of
four
here.
will be nice. So
Get out of here.
enjoy
All right.
it,
Wait,
everybody.
one more thing. Have you
Yeah.
seen the schedule for the AFC? Have you seen our schedule?
yeah, it's crazy, man.
We'll be lucky if any team goes 8-8.
I know. It's
So.
insane.
All right. Well, we'll
good
talk
stuff.
to you later, Hawk.
All right, man. Take care. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Soup.
He's the best. Is he not the best?
He's a chill dude. Very
Isn't he?
down
He's
to
a chill
earth.
dude. He's down to earth. He's gonna bring
Yeah.
his pizza.
Seems like he's great with the kids.
Oh, the kids love him. Kids love him.
Yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
love that. Lucas and them say, like, Ben will say, oh, Mr. Hockenberry saw me today. Says
Yeah.
hi. So yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thanks for watching. Thursday, we're not going to be live. We're going to do our first episode of.
Why don't we
What?
just do it live? I was thinking, why don't we just do it live
Because
and
do you
then
think someone's gonna
share?
want- Do you think
But
someone's
then
going
we
to want
can
to watch this for play 18 rounds, 18 holes of putt?
Why not? And then it'd be easier. You don't have to edit it, and then we can just share it again at 8:30. And then that way you don't have to worry about editing the video.
Just have Brian film the entire time?
Yeah, just have Brian film the whole time.
Okay, we could do that. That's even better because if I don't have to edit, I'll do that. So
Yeah.
we're going to
Yeah,
Putt
just say-
Putt Warren. We're gonna have their course chant with us. It's gonna be 1-on-1, me,
Okay.
you, and him versus each other. And I guess he's gonna be really, really good at putt.
Okay.
And we're gonna do that on 3:30. It's gonna be 3:30 on Thursday. Putt Warren. We're going live. I like
Don't
that
be-
idea. Now that you
Don't be
said-
mad. Don't be mad when I show up in golf shirts and a polo and like a full
Maybe we
set
should
of
dress.
golf-
Should we dress up like that?
like golfers.
Like golfers, like with the high socks and the shoes,
Right.
and
Right.
I
I need
think
like a
the hat.
old
I'm
school
gonna totally
golfers.
get. We're gonna
Like
get.
the baggy like football looking pants.
Can I get that at golf headquarters? Do they sell that anywhere around here?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find out. You know what I'm talking about? Like the high.
Yeah, like the old school like 50s golfer. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, all right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell them what we do, Isaac, so we can get out of here. I want to go to bed.
MLO Bros stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Bros. We are loan officers, real estate agents. Call us if you want us to sell your house. Call us if you want us to finance your next house. If you want us to help you buy a house, call us. Luke can be your loan officer. I'll be your real estate agent, or vice versa. We'll take care of you. Also, once again, check out our sponsors, as we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, Valley Insurance, as well as Botanic Candle Company. They're both awesome, and we love them, and you should too. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, computer. When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a